Hey guys, welcome back to this lecture. Enable ECS monitoring. In this lecture, we will learn how we can monitor our ECS cluster. That is the task and containers that are running inside my cluster. How can I monitor them? Okay, so we'll quickly jump onto the demo now, guys. So to start with, if you remember, in the very first lecture of this section where we have set up the complete Prometheus ecosystem inside our cluster, right? So we have created one container over there, and that was the OTel connector, right? That is open telemetry collector. And in that open telemetry collector, if you remember the configuration, let me show you one by one. Let us just go to the task first, and let's see what all the containers are running here. So here OTel collector we have used, okay, and this is running as a container for me in my task. Now if you remember, for this container or for this OTel collector, we have given a configuration. Let me show you that as well. Let me just quickly go to that path first. Okay, and this is the configuration. In this OTel collector configuration, I've given one receiver as AWS ECS container metrics. Okay, so I have enabled this receiver to read the metric data for my containers, okay, containers and task, and by default it gives you each and every metric related to task and container. Now if you want to restrict your metric further, so that you can do in the processor setting, or there are separate configuration which you can insert inside the processors, and there you can filter the metric which you want. Okay, so here we have already enabled the receiver. So now how do you know that it is actually sending the metric data or not? For that, what you'll do, let us just go to our Grafana, because we'll not be able to see it inside the Prometheus console, because the OTel collector is directly sending the data to AMP, if you remember. Okay, we have set up the exporter as AMP here, where we were sending the data directly to AMP. Let us go to the Grafana here. Let me copy the IP and port number. And in the Grafana, if you remember, we have given that data source. Okay, open it. Okay, let me remove this page here. Okay, this is Grafana. Now we have created a data source here, Prometheus, where we have given the URL of our AMP from where we are reading the data, right? So now let us see if we are already getting the data for our container and task. Okay, so let me okay, it is on the top only, so you can see your container CPU cores, container CPU onlines, right? Result. Let's see, let's check the first metric only here. Let us execute the query. Now here it is giving 1 2 3 4 5, so 5 containers. For 5 containers it is showing me the time series. Now let us check the how many containers we have in ECS, this task. You see, we have the 5 containers over there. So what is happening, guys, this container which is running as part of task, okay, is sending me data, that is container and task related data for this task. Okay, so I'll be able to see the task metrics as well. If you want to see the task overall CPU utilized by the task or memory utilized, so you can see with this. And in the task we are supposed to get one metric only, because this container's scope is inside this task only. So here you can see the yellow one, this was one task which ended somewhere around this, and post that this green one started. Okay, now here if you'll see, let us check the task ARN and let us validate if it is the current one or not. So task ARN is A147 ending with 5FE. Let us go to task ARN here. If I can see it somewhere, let me quickly check that. Okay, here it is, A147 5FE. So this is the current active task which I'm seeing over here. Okay guys, so we are already getting these metrics inside our AMP managed Prometheus via the OTel collector. So this is the same way you can deploy a container inside your task, and you can set up the AWS ECS container receiver inside the configuration, and you can run and get the metric data like this. So guys, this was about this lecture, as we have already covered it, so I've not implemented it again. but yes, I hope you'll be able to understand it from there. Okay guys, so in the next lecture we will take a step forward and we will understand more about the Prometheus and what other use cases we can go ahead with. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you. ECS volume, and then we'll update the configuration to have the changes related to MSK. Okay, so we'll go inside where lib ECS volumes and then the volume name. Okay, let me just give the complete path of prometheus.yml. So here we will add a new job for our MSK and we will then check in the Prometheus console whether the metrics are coming or not. So guys, here in the scrap config, I'll tell you one new way here now, because till now we were using this static config and now I want you to use the file based service discovery for the scraping targets. Okay, so for this what we will do, we will use the file SD config here rather than static config. So I'll quickly okay, job underscore name, let us give any name to it, let's say MSK job. In the static configs, now in place of static configs, what we can do, we'll pass file SD config. Okay, and now inside this what we'll have to do, we will give the path of the file, okay, which it will be reading to get the scraping targets. So here I'll pass the, let's say I'll create a file with the name msk file sd.yml. So if you remember this file based service discovery from the section 9 where we were learning about service discovery mechanism, so this was one of the mechanisms with which you can implement the different service discovery. Okay, so you can use your in-house systems or any kind of system which can generate a YAML file, and with the scraping target in it, then you can read that file in the Prometheus service and you can get the scraping endpoint from there. So that's the same mechanism we are using here, so as to make you familiar with that as well. Okay, and I'll say okay, honor labels, and I'll set it true. Now I'll save it. Now guys, it's time we create a file here with the endpoints that we already have in our MSK. Okay, so let me create the file here quickly, and in the content, let me bring up the content here quickly. Okay, so here is the my content. So here guys, if you remember, if you see in the targets, what I have given all the endpoints for our brokers. Okay, we have three brokers, and for every broker we have 2 ports where JMX and node related metrics are exposed. So 11001, 11002, you'll be able to see 2 entries for each broker. Okay, so I'll save it here, and now my Prometheus service is supposed to read this file to get the scraping endpoint for my MSK. Okay, so now let us restart our service and let's see if it is able to scrap the target. So I'll stop this task and I'll let the service create new task for me, which will read the latest configuration. So let the task come up now. Okay, so it is showing here. Now let us click on it and let's see all the services are up and running. Okay, I can see Prometheus is up and running. Now let us quickly go to the Prometheus console and let us go to the targets here, and now let's see if we are seeing the new target or not. Okay, I'm not seeing the new target yet. Let me go to the configuration. Let's see if it is having the new configuration. Okay, I can see the configuration is already there. Okay, let us go back to targets. It's not coming up here. Let us quickly go inside the logs and let's see if we are able to find anything. So let us check the Prometheus logs from here, and in the latest log I don't see any error here. So either it should show some exception here while reading that file, okay, msk-sd config file, or if it is not, then the target should come up over there. So let us wait. Okay, so no errors are there still. So let us go to our console, not the console, the ECS instance. Let's see if we are missing anything there. So we have created the file. Okay, so guys, what we have done, we have created this file, but we have created it in the wrong path. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us quickly copy this file inside our where lib ECS volumes and then the volume ID. Okay, The latest one is like this EC. We need to copy it there, and now we again need to restart our ECS task. So what we have done in the configuration, we have given the path as it like inside the EFS mount target, but in actual we have created the file in the home directory of root, right? So it was not able to detect it. So let me refresh it once if it auto picks it, or we will restart the container then. Okay, so it is able to see it here. Okay, so all the endpoints are up and working now, guys. Now let us quickly go to the visualization and let's see if we are getting any metric for this. So let us check with the Kafka string. Okay, that's great. So we are getting the metrics, we are getting the data. Here is my graph. Okay, so at this point it started the metric coming. Okay, so we can see now the data is coming over here. So our integration is successful, guys. This was about the MSK integration or MSK monitoring with Prometheus. And the same way, if there is a, if you are using the old Apache Kafka cluster, you can also use the client libraries to instrument, okay, your Kafka cluster, and then you can monitor them in the Prometheus. So guys, this was about this lecture. In the next lecture, we will take a step forward and we will learn more about it. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.